We're about to take it back.
Okay. Yes, guys, how's it going? We are back with another episode of Talking Loud. We got a very special guest, and I know you guys have been waiting a little while for us to jump back out, but we're here and we got an awesome grower with us, the lover of the sticky nugs. What's going on, man? How's it going?
Good. How are you, my friend?
Man, I'm good. So happy to have you on, man. I see you've been growing some awesome fire on your page, some really nice flowers, man. I just figured, man, I got to get this guy on here, figure out what's going on, what's his secret behind all of this stuff. Like, if you guys don't know, homie Jake has actually been literally featured on Dank Nugs from Dude Grows on his show. He's met him in person, been at a few cups as well. So he's been out here, homie's out here. So I'm hoping to pick his brain and find out what he's got going on. So just tell me a little bit about your name, man. That's what I usually ask a lot of growers. Like, how did the name come about? Lover of the sticky nugs. Talk to me about it.
Yeah, that one, it was a kind of a deal. I was like JC Newbie 1984, my birthday, when I first started on Instagram. And I grew some dank. It was like my second grow, and I grew some Gorilla Glue. And the stuff would literally leave your fingers just black. And it was just like, it was so sticky. It was unreal. And I was looking at that nug one day, and I was like, sticky nug. I was like, lover the sticky nug. That's literally how I come up with it, because I've been trying to think of a good name to change it to. So
I love that.
that's
So
how
how
I come
long ago
about.
was that?
Man, that's been 4 years ago. Yep.
Nice,
I guess I'm
nice.
going
And
on
that was
4
that
years on
Gorilla
it.
Glue strain, eh?
Man, it was amazing. Amazing. It's actually a bag seed Gorilla Glue is what it was, but it was amazing.
Dope. Now, how long have you been gardening? Like, how long have you been at this for? Because I've seen your pictures. You look like you've been pulling out some magic for a while, bro.
Yes. I've actually been gardening for 5 years total. Started off with one of my friends that had a commercial facility here, and he gave me some cuts and said, go with it. And I brought them home and ordered everything I needed the next day. Before I even knew what I was doing, really, I had everything going. He kind of walked me through the first one. My stepbrother, actually, he gardens also, so he kind of walked me through the first steps, and it was amazing. Turned out amazing, and I was like, hey, I'm going to try this again. So I had a little 2x2 tent, and I ended up going for a 2x4 next, and just been going ever since.
So you just sort of like started off with those little, were they cuttings? Were they clones?
Yeah, two clones.
Awesome. And
Two
what
clones
strains
and a
were
little
they?
2x2. They were a pineapple, original pineapple, not Pineapple Express, but it was actually a pineapple strain. Man, it was
Dope.
amazing. My wife still talks about it today. So it was
Awesome.
good stuff. And it
That
turned out
must
great
be
for my
sweet.
first time actually finishing off. Yes, but it was a 13-week strain for my first strain. So it actually, yeah, it was kind of different going that long for my first time. Everything
Yeah.
else I ran after that's pretty much been 8 to 9 weeks for the most. So.
Yeah, so that being like just a little bit longer in terms of like how long it ran, did that like throw you off
Yes.
or anything as a beginner, just starting
Yes.
out?
Yes, it's hard to keep a plant looking perfect the whole time.
Oh, that's
Especially your
fantastic.
first grow, not knowing what you're doing, but everything turned out pretty decent. I mean, I didn't have a whole lot of troubles. Just like anybody, I've learned from all my mistakes, pouring
Yeah,
on the nutrients every feed, to where you finally figure out, you don't need to feed every time. I
that's
went
true.
through a lot of different styles, I started off with Happy Frog, and then went to the Ocean Forest, and then I started making my own mix of the both, and then I ended up going to cocoa after that, and that's been my go-to way is cocoa.
So you've settled on the cocoa as a preference for now, eh?
Yes, I love using the cocoa, and now I've started using living soil, nature's living soil, actually mixed in there with it, and then I've also started using a new product called Fishnewer that I'm beyond amazed with. I don't know if you've ever heard of it or looked at it, but it's actually a fish humus manure.
Wow, no, I
Yeah,
haven't. That
it's,
sounds amazing though. I
man,
love
I
the
highly
fish stuff,
suggest
man.
checking it out. It has the most beautiful flowers I've ever seen at the end of it. Every time they're just amazing how they look. And they literally finish off like nothing I've ever seen. My wife, all she had to do while I was gone was water these things. And it was just so simple. So simple for her.
What's
So
it called again? Drop that name again.
it's called Fishnewer, Fishnure.
Okay, I got you. That
Yeah,
sounds like a really awesome product because, like, I love
man,
using fish stuff in the garden, dude. Like,
I do
it's
too, and that's
so
what I was
great.
going for. I use uh can't think of the other one, the name of it. I've got a few different fish products that I use and stuff, and I was highly impressed with them all, and I ended up finding that one online on my own, did some research on it, and just went for it and tried it. And I was using it for teas at first, and then I ended up going ahead and mixing it and trying it out all by itself, and it worked great.
Awesome. So that's the I think I'm actually seeing it right now. Let me see if I could just pull it up on screen. Some people may not see it, but for those that are
Yes,
listening, this is Fishner. It's actually an organic
Fishner.
fertilizer and soil conditioning humus compost made from fish manure. Like humus compost is organic compost matter combined with clay broken down by microbes. And it basically is really great for the plant based on what I'm seeing here, guys. So
Yes,
I'm definitely going to look into this.
man, I was beyond amazed with it. Like using nothing else with it. A little worm casting. Whenever I first mixed it, I used that, and a little bit of worm casting was the only other thing I added in there with it. So
Wow, that's legit. That sounds legit. I'm really glad you brought that up because what I
yes,
really like about this show is that a lot of growers have different techniques and different styles of growing, and they do different things and use different things. And what I try to do is bring the differences to everyone because no one
yes,
does the same thing, you know?
right.
So I'm really
Yeah, I've
happy
got it
that you showed
all.
me that, dude.
Right. I got it all. I've got the bottle nutrients. I've used New Millennium nutrients for most of my time growing, and I love them. I mean, I absolutely love them. I've used Veg Bloom. I really love Veg Bloom. I've used Fox Farm and killed it with Fox Farm. I mean,
Yeah.
if you know what you're doing, and any nutrients are really decent, as long as you're not overfeeding. That's the main thing I figured out is uh, a little less is better than a little more.
100%, dude. I preach
Yes,
that all the time. Less is
yes.
so much better than more.
Man, yes, I used to think, if you put a little more of this, it'll get bigger, but
Yeah, or
that's not how it
stronger.
works. It's not how it works. Yeah,
Yeah, no.
I've 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 fed the least amount you could feed possible and got better results than I have with anything really.
Yeah, and
So
what that actually does as well, I guess the flip side of that is that it helps you to like save the nutrients, like store the
yes,
nutrients that last a little bit longer.
definitely, because that was my main deal. I said, why am I letting my ppms rise up so high, and then I'm flushing this out constantly? That's how I was having trouble with soil. I get the ppms would be so high with everything. You try to flush it out. And I was like, why are we flushing out nutrients constantly down the drain? It just makes
Yeah,
no sense to constantly pour them in and flush them out, pour them in and
yeah,
flush them out.
that's a
So if you pour
fantastic
in a
point.
little bit less, and then you can water, say the next day, and you're actually leaching out like they want you to do, you can water a little heavier the next day if you actually want to leach out a little bit for the salt buildup or something. But I honestly I use like a gallon of water whenever I feed, and it don't matter if I have 9 plants in there, they all get a gallon of water
Yeah,
spread between all of them in the tent, and that's how it works best for me.
yeah, dude, because you save nutrients, you save fertilizer, you
Yes,
save money, and you save
man.
your plants from a fatal death.
Yes, and I run smaller pots. I was having a lot of trouble. The bigger pots I run, it seemed like the more trouble. I know it feeds them longer and you got more of a battery to run, but it seems like I was having trouble running the cocoa with the bigger pots. I was never figuring out my watering right with them when I was running
Yeah,
5 gallons. So I've always done a lot better running 3 gallons or smaller. I actually love running 2 gallons. To
yeah.
me, those are just for my style. It works out great. I
Wow.
can fit a lot of them in one tent, and they don't require a whole lot of water.
Yeah,
So,
that's
and then
really interesting.
I've also started using a blue mat setup for just kind of a backup, and I have it set to where it just barely keeps it damp in there, and then I can
Ooh,
come in and hand water on top of it. And that seems to be the best setup so far.
yeah,
So
you're
I've
really
got
getting
some
it
behind
dialed
me.
in.
Yeah, I've got some behind me right now. I'm waiting to harvest after this.
Yeah.
Oh man, they're so amazing, so amazing,
Oh,
so
dude,
amazing.
that's awesome, man. I've actually
Yeah,
never grown in cocoa, like pure cocoa as a medium just yet. So
yeah.
that's something I definitely want to try, man. But
Sorry.
I'm now dabbling in like DWC. So I've now
Yeah.
like set up a little bubble bucket downstairs. But I've got a seedling actually in one of these little things in the back here. So once that gets ready, I'm going to dabble in some DWC. But a lot of people use the cocoa. So like, is there anything that you found in particular like about the cocoa difficult?
Not really the cow mag issue at first.
Okay. Okay.
Figuring out cow mag. Everyone seems to have cow mag issues with the cocoa and stuff. So I did have a lot of trouble dialing that in at first. But like when I used this Fishnewer, I was going to say that when my wife was feeding, she put, it's Build a Soil Humic Big 6-pack, and then every other watering she'd use a new Millennium Ruby Fulvic. So they're both just basically using a Fulvic when she's feeding, but never added cow mag or nothing the whole time. These things never had a deficiency. They look perfect, most perfect plants I've ever grown, and never used cow mag one time. Just using tap
Nice.
water and that. So, and
Wow.
then, yeah, as long as you're using good cocoa and it's buffered, you know, at the beginning with the cow mag, that's about the only trouble I've ever had was cow mag issues. I'd have sometimes they are really, really hungry for cow mag.
I got you. Do you pH your tap water, or do you use tap water?
Yeah, I used to, but I don't really that much anymore just because I know what it comes out at.
Perfect. So what does it come out
And,
at?
it's usually right around 6.1 to 6.2.
Yeah, that's perfect, dude. I tested mine recently and it was pretty high. I was like
Yeah,
surprised. I don't know what's
uh,
going on, dude.
yeah, it'll change, especially during the seasons and stuff. They always change it a little
True.
bit. Mine will get up to about 6.5 is the highest it ever really gets, so it's
Yeah.
not ever really in any danger zone. So,
Dude, I think mine was like an 8, or, 8.5
oh wow,
or something. So I was like, dude, what's going
yeah,
on here, man? Like, I
yeah,
gotta get me some pH down or something. Like,
yeah. Well, that was
that's
part of my problem. I was spending so much time in there dialing in the pH and everything that was so much time in feeding. My wife, that was part of her complaint about me growing, is that it takes so much time with the getting the water ready and everything. When you're dialing everything in, you're putting a bunch of nutrients, your pH and everything, trying to get it perfect. And I was like, why am I doing this every time? So I started using organics, and I didn't really pH a whole lot, and I never really had any
yeah.
trouble. So I know what it pretty much comes out at. There's some things I use, like I have one fish, uh, it's a fish product. I can't remember what it is, but it actually drops your pH very low on it.
Okay.
So that's about the only one I'll check the pH on. Everything else, it pretty much dials in. I also use that Real Growers Recharge a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Shout
they
out to
say you
Real
don't
Growers.
really, yes. They say you don't really have to pH that much with all the stuff that I'm using. So I never
Yeah.
had any trouble with it. So
Awesome, man. Like that's awesome. I actually heard a lot of great stuff about Recharge. I've used it a few times as well, and it's really awesome, man. So shout out to Scotty for that. I gotta get Scotty on the show, man. Scotty
man,
gotta come on the
definitely.
show.
The good thing about Recharge is I was going to buy each individual product that's in Recharge, and I kept reading about it, and I was like, everything that I was wanting to buy is in it. He has it
Yeah,
everything in that
that's
one
true.
pack. That's
Yeah,
why I mean, it's so great. He literally has everything you need in that one pack. So yeah, it's definitely a great product.
this
So definitely
perfect
big
little
shout out to those.
recharge
And
pack
yeah,
to recharge your plants and the microbial life.
yes, yes. And I've
Uh,
been very lucky, and I think I've made it on the dank nugs like 6 or 7 times now. So
Jeez, I didn't even
yeah,
notice that much, dude. So,
yeah,
guys, as you guys can see, he's growing dank nugs. So, definitely
yes.
check out his IG. I'm gonna put links down below, guys. Definitely
Man,
check it out. Give him a follow.
dude, I've gotten a lot of love and respect from this community. I mean, from people like calling it Ethos. I've never grew anything from him, and he follows me, comments on my stuff.
Yeah,
A lot of big time growers, you know, respected me, you know, enough to follow me, and I've never even grew their genetics, and they'll comment on my stuff all the time. So I've gotten a lot of respect from the community, man. It always, no matter who it is, each time someone comments or anything, man, it honestly means so much to me because people take their time to actually give me a follow or a comment or anything.
that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
100%, dude. Like, I
I,
feel that
rec-
same way as well.
I recently had a hit here while I was actually in Africa. I had like 8,000 some followers, like, and I got a couple of post removal. I was down there for my flower content, and
They got it
I
again.
lost 3,000 followers over it. Now I'm down like 5,700. I don't know what happened. I don't
Yeah, dude.
know. Yeah, I
That's
was
crazy.
afraid I was about
What
to
the?
lose my account. Yeah, I was like, oh no, please, please, please. So I started putting, this is for medical, you know,
Yeah.
legal medical grow, blah blah blah. So
Yeah, dude, because I did like actually I always like peep your Instagram, man. Like I say, and I did sort of notice like something was off when I was like,
yeah,
okay, like some posts missing or something, like did they
yes,
get removed? Like what's going on, man? The
man, it's
Instagram
all
page had it
happened
again.
within. Yeah, I've been very lucky and fortunate. I know a lot of people that's got hit, but it's just been since I was going to Africa for the last month.
Yeah.
As it started happening, I actually had three, I think, total while I was going removed. So
Jeez.
that's why I was getting really worried. I was like, oh no.
Yeah, dude.
So
And they're heartless, man. They'll just remove
Yes.
your page and bye bye.
Yes. Yes, and that's a
Heartless.
lot of content I've worked a long time to get.
Yeah,
I
dude.
mean, I've tried to build it. I remember whenever I was happy to get 100 followers on Instagram. I mean, I
Yeah,
was
same,
just so
man.
excited. And
Like
then
your
here
IG
I
is bigger
was.
than mine, dude.
Yeah, and then here I am. I've gotten sponsorship. I just recently, Fast Buds just sponsored me. I just got in on my stuff from
Sweet.
Fast Buds. I've
Yeah.
killed it with autos before, but they hit me up here the other day. Mars Hydros sponsored me 2 different tents, 2 different lights. I
Yeah.
mean, I've been sponsored through so
Wow.
many people and been very fortunate.
Yeah.
And I hate to lose all that, everything I've gained, because IG doesn't like
The
my
flower
content.
content, man. The
Yeah,
flower content.
yes, and it's all legal medical. It's all legal where
Yeah, dude.
I hate
Same,
that, but
same. I don't understand what it is or what it'll take for them to like switch their stance on it. Because I've had Facebook pages, Facebook groups, Instagram
yes.
pages, all removed, disabled. Like I can't appeal it. I can't get it back. It's all
Yeah,
gone.
you
Hard
can't
work
do
down the
nothing.
drain. Yeah,
Yeah,
nothing, dude.
I've seen big accounts, people, massive people who've lost their stuff. And there's nothing you can do 90% of the time.
Nothing, man. Oh man, that just makes me feel sick, dude. Anyway, man, you mentioned a few times that your wife helps you out in the garden. I've actually seen that you've got a beautiful picture of your son in the garden with you as well.
Yes,
So it seems like he's an amazing young man. So do you
yes, he
often get
loves
like
it.
a lot of help from him in the garden? Like, what does he do? He's so cute.
Yeah, he has autism and stuff, and he has a sensory processing disorder. So it
Oh
started off,
man,
he was feeling the leaves one day, and he loves
yeah.
to feel stuff, with the sensory
Okay.
processing. So he started feeling the
Yeah.
leaves one day. So I just kept letting him, and then he just always get in my lap every time I go to water. He'd always get in my lap, and he wanted to play with
So
the
nice.
leaves. Yeah,
Yeah.
he loves the leaves. I don't know what it is, but he just loves the leaves. If I hand him a
Yeah.
leaf, he's happy, and he'll run around and play with it.
Yeah.
He's
That's
just
awesome.
happy-go-lucky. Yeah, it's awesome, because he just really loves the feel of things. So yeah,
Yeah. Like I
and
love
he's a
that. Like
daddy's
seeing
boy.
that, man. Yeah, and
Yeah,
that's
he's a
awesome,
daddy's boy. Yeah, I
dude.
love it. I love it, man.
And just like seeing that also makes you feel just so good. It's like breaking the stigma because growing up,
Yes,
a lot of people wouldn't have done that. I certainly couldn't do that as a young kid growing up. But like if
man,
I
I
were,
couldn't either.
like,
Uh,
yeah, let's break the stigma.
I, I was very fortunate. My dad was very, uh, he wasn't very hard on us for things when we were younger. He let a lot of stuff get by. So we didn't have to worry a lot about it, but my mom never was. She was always very bad against it. So I couldn't ever imagine sharing something like that with my kids. But ever since it's been legal here, I've been very open with my kids about it. They know about
Yeah.
everything. So it's a lot easier to be open with them than trying to hide it, or anything like that. Because I've
Fact.
medicated myself since I was about 12. So going on 26 years,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah,
but
I agree with you on that 100%. Now, like looking through your IG, which I keep saying is fire, but I
thank you.
like saw
Thank
the progression of like your grow setup over time. Like I think you started off with some blurple lights, just like I did, most growers
you.
do, and
Yes.
like you progressed over time to some of the full spectrums, like Spider Farmer, Mars Hydro, that sort of stuff. But like,
Yes.
what's your setup looking like right now? Just tell me a little bit about your current setup, dude.
Right now, I've got a Mars Hydro FCE 3000, and then I also
Nice.
have a FC 3000 both.
Oh, nice and nicer.
Yes, yes, man, those are beautiful lights. I mean,
Yeah, for
I don't
sure.
think you could get a better light for that setup. They're both in a 3x3 Mars tents also. I mean, I don't think you could get a better setup, honestly, on the lights. They're beautiful, put out amazing,
So
amazing. So
So
shout
you
out to
got
Mars.
two, three, definitely, man. Shout out to Mars Hydro. But you got two 3x3 tents then?
Yes.
You
And
run them
also
like
have
on different flower, different veg. Like what else you got there? Tell me about it all, man.
yeah, I also have a shower grow. My wife, we have a spare bathroom in here that we don't use the shower in there.
Oh
My wife let
shit!
me turn the shower into a grow,
A
dude.
shit,
It's I
dude.
kill it in that thing, man. I mean, I kill it. That's where I really get it going in there. 'Cause it's got like a 9 foot ceiling height in there, and I kill it in there, dude. I have
You're growing some
two spider.
monsters.
Yes, all I have is 2 Spider Farmer SF1000 in there, dude. I guarantee I could throw down with anybody in there. Anybody.
Yeah,
Any
real
light.
talk.
I don't know why it is, but that little area kills it, man. It stays on point in there. Everything's just
Real talk,
perfect all the time.
dude.
The temperature, humidity, everything. And no matter how hot it is, it stays perfect in there. It's always perfect.
Oh,
Perfect.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
So
got
it's
like an
great.
extractor fan in there and stuff?
Yeah, AC Infinity 6-inch fan at the top,
Sweet.
stays on pretty much all the time. Then I have temperature humidity box. It's I don't remember what brand they are, but anyway, I've
So,
got
bro,
everything set up on
man, that's dope.
the way
Like
it works
guys can
itself.
bring their big grow tents and grow setups, man, and you can just kill them off with that shower grow,
Dude, I
dude.
swear that shower throws down in there, man. I grew the biggest flowers I've ever seen in that thing. Every time whenever I grow something good, I'll finish it off in there. I don't usually tell people, but that's where I'll finish them off at, just because
Yeah,
they throw down in there. I don't know why it is, but they throw down.
dope.
Yeah, yeah, I
Uh,
love
so,
it.
so what else you got outside of the tent?
I've got a little garden outside I've been working on. I did a lot of breeding myself. Got a Landrace strain, a Whaling Valley Landrace strain a couple of years ago,
Nice,
and I grew it outside and ended up making my own beans off of it.
nice.
So I
That's
crossed it with
legit.
the Nightmare Runts that I had, and then a Gelati that I had. Nightmare Runts was from Sin City Seeds, and then Gelati was from Canorado. And
Nice.
then crossed a couple more things with it. I actually turned out very nice. I've got a few pics of those on my IG also.
Yeah, I think I
They
actually
turned
saw
out very
those.
nice. Yeah, I mean, I was beyond amazed how nice it turned out. Some of the
Yeah,
better
dude,
smoke I've
respect.
had. Yeah, very good.
Respect, man. Like, did you do that breeding like indoors, outdoors? I know pollen could go everywhere, anywhere, become like a mess. How did you
Yes,
do that?
I like doing it outdoors. I actually have a spare tent set up in my garage. I have an old 2x4 tent.
Nice. You
Yeah,
smart.
yeah. Vivo Sing I bought it. This is my second tent I bought, and the thing had holes all in it, pinholes all in it.
Yeah.
And they ended up giving me my money back on it, but let me keep the tent. So I just put it out in my garage, and I can finish some stuff off in it. If the temperature's right, I can run something in it. So whenever it come time for them to pollen, I put all the males. I ran like 8 different males out there, and I put them all inside of there whenever it was about time for them to pollinate. And then I picked what females I wanted and put them in there, and did it that way. That way I didn't spread anything, trying to be nice.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. It's always
Yeah,
helpful when you got like a separate area to do breeding, right? Because like if you try
definitely
to do that
is.
all in one area, or even if you got like two tents in one room,
Oh
that
yeah, it'd be
pollen can
very
spread
hard, very
everywhere,
hard.
dude.
It's
Yeah.
also nice because I ran those 8 males. I let them finish all the way out till they completely died, so I got to actually see their full color on them, how they turned, and everything. So I really got to see all their expressions and everything, their smells. It was very, very good. I actually kind of enjoyed that.
Nice,
I
man.
just brought back some of those African landrace strains that I was actually able to pick up from up there. That it's supposed to be some of the best smoking Sierra Leone is what they told me, man. And I'm not gonna lie, this stuff would have you on another world.
Ah, Jesus.
It's
Okay,
very
guys.
euphoric, man.
The big
Very
homie Jake
euphoric.
is like
Yeah,
he's got it going on. Like he's
yeah,
asking my questions before I got it. Like so, I was actually gonna ask you about those
yeah,
land-based trains. Like I see you just ran out to Africa. Like it
yeah.
seems like it's an awesome trip, man. We were talking a little bit off air about it.
Man,
Like, tell me a little bit about the trip, dude. How was that? Like, what was it like
man,
out there? What's the
it was amazing. Seen some things. I've never been out of this country before. I'd only been on an airplane one time in my whole life, and I took a job, and a week later I had to fly out and go to Africa. The day before that, I had to fly to Denver to get my passport and everything. And that was my second time being on a plane. So then the
Yeah.
next day, I had to ride another plane and take off 21 hours to Sierra Leone, Africa. It was quite the trip, man. Quite
So
the
like how
trip.
many flights was that, dude? Was it like one flight, like a straight flight?
No, three different flights. My last on the way home, it was 3 flights, but it took me 32 hours from the time I left till the
Jeez.
time I got back home. 32
Man.
hours, 24 on the airplane, and then 12 on layovers.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's a lot of flying, bro. And like a
Yes,
lot of layovers. I'm not a
man, I'm
fan of that.
telling you, yeah, it was horrible. Luckily, my second layover was in Chicago, and it's recreational there.
Yeah, yeah, it
So
is.
I had to go hit up the dispo right down the road.
Yeah,
So I
dude, I
got to
actually
chill.
went out to Chicago recently for the Kind of Fest, and then
Yep,
I touched
yep,
a dispensary out there in Copson Bud as soon as I touched down, and I was just so surprised. I mean, the bud was awesome, premium. So,
yes,
mad love to Chicago guys, no disrespect, but it was a little pricey, like more than what I'm
very,
used to out here in Denver.
very. I
I
got
just,
just some pre-rolls, and they were like $18 for a pre-roll,
yeah, I
but
was like, is it just me or like,
yeah, yeah, it was definitely pricey, but it was good, and I hadn't
yeah.
had anything like that in a little while. But
Yeah, it was good for sure. I agree with you on that. It was premium, and I myself thought the same thing. I was like, man, I haven't smoked something this premium in a while. This is
Yeah,
some
it was
good.
definitely it was nice to have something that tasted wonderful. Like I
Yeah,
couldn't even finish the whole
wonderful.
thing, and I was talking to my wife and said, "Wow, I
The
haven't felt
taste
like
of
this
it.
in a little while."
Yeah, yeah, I know
So
that
it was
feeling.
good. Yeah.
Oh damn, man. So like down in Africa, like, did you get any landrace strains out there? Because like I did a landrace video today actually, and you guys check it out if you didn't. It'll explain what landrace strains are, but it's basically like strains native to a specific place or region. So when you were out there, dude, did you find any like nice landrace strains? What were things like out there?
Man, it's definitely different. It was very hard at first when I first got out there. Everyone kept telling me that there was some stuff they called loud out there, and they said it was like American stuff, but it's not. It's way different. I'm not even sure exactly what it is. I tried to look at it, and it's very different looking. I'm not 100% sure. They
How
had
does
some
it
stuff
look,
they
dude?
called
Does it sound too
Kush.
promising?
Yeah, they had some stuff called Kush also that I don't, I'm still not sure what it was. I have no idea, but it was not what I was looking for.
Let me
So I
take a guess.
finally
Was it a
found,
brown?
yes. Yes, yes.
Man, I got a lot of that back home now, dude, and they call it Kush as well. Oh, shoot.
Yes, I don't, yes, that's exactly what they called it. Everybody has it out there, and I still don't understand it.
It's like
Not
brown,
sure.
super hard, like lots of
Yes,
spines in the seeds. Like it would break the teeth of your grinder, dude.
yes, yeah, there's no way. Yeah, it's crazy out there. But so I
Yeah,
finally, my gatekeeper, luckily, I got to talking to him, and he
man.
told me he knew where the best was up around Freetown up there. And I ended up letting him. I gave him. He didn't have fuel money, so I gave him enough money to get fuel up there, and he rode a motorbike all the way up there. And he said he went far as he could into the jungle. It was actually a family that had been growing it from the great grandfather to the father to now the son. So it's been in the family for a long time. And he said it's never been given to the white man. And I was like, oh, wow. And it was amazing. I mean, bro, I'm telling you,
This
amazing.
is
My wife,
crazy, dude.
yeah, my
What
wife
a
was telling me,
story.
she said, that looks like crap. And I was like, I'm telling you, it looks it, but I promise, like, it's better than anything I've smoked in the States and forever. I mean,
Oh,
it
dude.
was amazing,
That must be like some
amazing.
really tender love and care from that family growing it like
Man,
out in the natural, like everything natural.
yes,
Like,
everything. They've never been to town before. They never left out there.
man,
Whenever I was asking them, the gatekeeper guy, I said,
I'm shook.
how do you know they're going to be at home whenever you go? And he said, they're always home. And I was like, what
They
do you
don't
mean?
go
He said, they
nowhere.
never leave. And I was like, they don't ever go to town for nothing. He said, for what?
Oh,
And I'm like,
shit.
what do you mean for what? That's how different things are. People have never left their house out there. They've never had to venture out because they have everything they need.
Yeah, self-sustainability, yo.
Yeah, they have no power, no water, they got their own water supply from the creeks and stuff like that, so they don't have to leave. And it's very hard to understand that till you see that where people literally don't have to leave. They
Wow,
have
man.
everything they need right there. So why do they need to go to town?
Wow, that's
Yeah.
legit though. Like
So yeah, this is
self-sustainability
a
is
straight
now.
yeah, so this is straight from a village. I couldn't write a book about this stuff or what I mean.
In
It's
hell, man.
crazy. Yeah.
I'm so
I
glad
did
I
happen
asked
to
you about
find Yeah, I did
that.
happen to find another one that wasn't quite as good as that one. It wasn't as impressive.
Yeah,
And they said that it was just more of the local stuff that goes around everywhere, kind of what everyone
okay.
gets. Well, that guy went in deep search. And he said the son's the one who actually is the one who's over it now, but the father still grows it. So he went straight to the father because he said he does the best on it and got it for me because he's trying to impress me because he's actually wanting me to let him grow some out there for me. He's wanting to do some gardening himself out there. He says he has some land and he's wanting us to do some gardening since I'm going to be out there so often. So,
Wow, man,
yeah,
that's crazy, man. I honestly didn't expect to hear that at all when I asked you how
it's
it
pretty
was,
wild. Yeah,
man.
I could get more into detail about the story, but it's crazy. It was an experience for sure, man. It's a poor country, but the nicest people I've ever met in my
Yeah,
entire life, man. I was treated like a king out there. Everybody was, there's no such thing as racism out there.
yeah,
People have
there
no idea
definitely
what it is over there, and it just so
yeah,
they treat everybody like we're
equal.
the same.
Yeah,
We're equal, and that's what they'd say. Same blood. That's
yeah.
what all they tell me. Same blood. You're no different. Same blood.
Man,
And
that's
I was like,
beautiful.
yes, I am. You know, most people over there had never even seen someone white before.
Yeah,
So it was very
yeah.
different. But
Like you're breaking down for me just now. Sierra Leone is actually where that Blood Diamonds movie was, right?
yes,
Like it's a
yes,
really pretty desolate part of Africa, as I understand, right?
very, yes. They've been done very wrong over there, man. People just stole from them and just, they, the place, everything about it's been done very wrong over there. There's a lot of corruption over there for sure.
Man, at
But
least you were able to see some of the beautiful parts of it and like get this
yes,
guy to ride into the freaking forest on a bike
yes,
and
yeah, it's
you
something you
know,
couldn't
I'm gonna
even,
hook
you
you up
can't
with some
make up a,
fuel.
yeah, you can't make up a story that cool hardly, you know. I mean, it's just, it's amazing over there. It's
Yeah,
cool.
dude. That's awesome. That's awesome. Well,
Yeah.
I'm just wanting to switch gears a little bit back to the Landrace Trains, man. So, other than that, like, did you bring back like any seeds? Were you able to like cop any beans? Anything that you plan to like run? Maybe try some crossing with, breeding, anything like that?
Man, yes, I got a few that I left over there. I just so happen to have a couple, like a solo cup full of them. And I
Oh,
guess
sweet.
some accidentally fell into my bag, my luggage on the way back.
Oh, I
Because whenever I
imagine.
got home and I was unpacking, I got a couple bags full of them.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, I know that happens to me sometimes too, man. I
yeah,
hate when
it's
that happens.
a couple big bags full of them.
Yeah,
So I guess since I already have them here,
yeah,
I'm gonna
might as
see what I
well,
have.
Might as
Yeah, I
well give
mean,
it a try now.
right. I'm gonna at least get them wet, see what happens, you know.
Yeah. Now, speaking of
So,
that, man, you led right perfectly on to my next question, man. So, germination, that's where all the magic happens. That's where all the magic starts off. So, like, what's your preferred way of starting beans off?
I actually just drop them in water and wait till they sprout. I literally
Yeah.
just put them into a cup. I'll toss however many I'm going to in a cup, put them in a dark spot that's not too cold, and just let them go that way. And they sprout usually with 2 days, sometimes overnight they sprout. That's just always
Wow.
been my preferred way. I did the paper towel method before the paper towel method was ever a thing. Whenever I was a kid, I was trying to
Feel
germinate some. When
bad.
I was like 12 or 13, I was trying to germinate some, and I was like, man, if I get this paper towel wet, it'll stay wet. So I did that on my own, put them on a paper plate up there between two paper plates.
Yeah.
And that was before you could even read anything about anything like
Yeah.
that. So I've done it
That,
that
that,
way. I've planted them. The autos, anytime I do autos, it's better. I just put them straight in the soil and then I'll put a clear
yeah.
cup over the top of it. And that seems the best way. Keep it sprayed on the inside,
Yeah.
which I'm
That's a good
fixing to
point.
start a bunch of autos right now, is what I'm fixing to run next, actually. So I got
Yeah.
Fast Buds actually sponsored me. So I'm going to run a bunch of different autos I got from them.
Yeah, man. Fast Buds needs to send me some freaking beans as well, dude. Like, I've been
Man,
wanting to try it for a long time, dude.
I have too. I really have. The only autos I've ran before were from Growers Choice Netherlands, and
Mhm.
I was really amazed by them. I got like 10 and a half ounces out of one auto and 12 ounces out of another auto. Man, I killed it with those things. Under
Oh,
one
sweet.
Blarple light and
Nice
one Spider
pull.
Farmer, man. I mean, they
Yeah,
threw down.
that's a
Uh,
nice pull. No,
yeah,
I
and then
actually, yeah,
I
go
had one
ahead, dude.
auto I got 2 ounces off of, so I mean, they vary.
Yeah,
So
sometimes that happens with me. My first auto was actually like 7 grams. It was really, really bad.
I ran one that was awful small one time. I just went ahead and let it finish out, just see what it do. But I've been
Yeah,
definitely impressed by it, though. The quality of the medicine is actually very, very impressive, really. So, and I've always liked Fast Buds. They seem to have quite a bit of selections on there. So
yeah, dude, that's awesome. Now, you did sort of mention like when you start the autos, you do a different method of germination just so you could kickstart things a little bit quicker. That's actually a great point because when I was doing my autos, I would start them off just like you start off your beans in the glass of water. I'd add a
yeah,
dash of hydrogen peroxide, but when I put that into the soil, I guess it just took a little bit longer for it to get into veg, and that sort of cut down my veg stage a little bit. So I've started to just pop the beans directly into soil, just like you said, and I found
yes,
that it just seems like it goes a little bit faster, you know?
it does. It really does. I just keep the inside of the cup sprayed, keep the humidity in there really good, and I just water around that area, and then I just keep watering as it grows. I'll just water out a little bit further around the plant as it grows. I usually do them in a 3 gallon or
Yeah,
five sometimes, but threes just fit a lot better in the 10. I can always get more in there. And
yeah,
I
that's
literally
true.
don't even touch the autos until they get up just big enough that the fan leaves are actually covered, and then that's all the training I do
Yeah.
is break the fan leaves off and wait till they get up to just about the time they're about ready to flower, and then I'll start doing training on them. I don't want them to ever slow down until they actually start flowering. And then that first week of flower, they slow down anyways before they actually start kicking in a real high growth. So
it's true, because like I was literally wondering, dude, like why are my autos vegging for such a short time? Like why are they all so everyone else
don't
has
touch them.
autos.
I see a lot of people do training on them, but it's always worked out better for me. I just don't touch them really. I'll move the fan leaves down or move them out of the way to, you know, let the branches get exposed good. Other than that, I won't touch them until I see that they're just ready to start flowering. Then you can touch them, because then they'll go ahead and flower anyway. So
yeah, that's a good point, because I started that as well. I started to just not train them at all, like at all. I let them grow like a Christmas tree. And,
a lot of people do it that way. So.
And I found it like I'm getting better yields than when I was training. So like I just gotta leave it, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. As soon as I see it's ready to start flowering, I'll take that main seam, just bend it right over and break that thing in half, just where it'll have to stay completely bent over. So.
Dope. Now I actually see like in your IG you do a lot of like starting off of the seeds in solo cups, right? And you do like a lot of backfilling, because like sometimes seedlings can get leggy. So do you like usually start off with less soil in the seedling cup? Like how much soil do you start off with?
About anywhere from about a half to 3/4. That way you can backfill it. That way it helps them build up a lot stronger. It helps your stem to get a lot stronger that way, for sure.
Yeah, that's a good point, because a lot of growers just fill the cup up.
Fill the cup up. I learned the hard way of that. Everything I learned is just from over time of doing it. I used to fill the cup all the way up, and I'd have soil running all the top out of it, trying to, you know, backfill it. So yeah, everything is a learning experience. I do my pots the same way. Even when I plant, I do the same way. I don't fill the pots up all the way. That way I can always top dress or backfill it. You know, it always works out a lot better for me.
Yeah, I don't fill my pots ever either, man. I agree with you on that one 100%.
Yeah, I've got some right now that are probably 3 foot tall that are still in 2 gallons. The 2 gallons are about halfway full, so they definitely need some doing. But I got a lot of work to do. I just got home 2 nights ago, and I've started messing with plants. I have 9 that are ready to harvest right now, and already harvested.
You got some work.
Yeah, my wife harvested 4 of them for me before I got home. We're allowed to have 6 each, so yeah.
That's awesome, man. So she actually did like the full chop, like trim, dry, everything.
She did it all. Yeah, she did it all.
Shout out.
Plus raise our 5 boys by herself.
Man, that's awesome. That's awesome. That's a Wonder Woman right there, bro.
Man, I'm telling you, I couldn't have done it without her.
Yeah, dude.
Couldn't have done it without her.
You gotta shout her out. You gotta shout her
out. Big shout out to my wife, Brittany. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Everyone told me she did a fantastic job, because those plants look amazing. Those flowers in there right now. I'll have some pictures posted in the next couple of hours that are going to be amazing.
Fam, watch out for those pics.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I can't wait to try it out too. It smells amazing.
Dope. Now, one thing that I always notice on your IG, well, aside from the beautiful sticky nugs that you've got going on, is that your plants like always have a lot of colas all spread out. And it may be that like there are a few different things that you do to achieve that. Like, just tell me a little bit, how do you get so many nice colas?
Keeping the training up, keeping that main stem. I don't really like to top that much. I've tried topping, and it just seems to slow things down for me. I've always had better luck just bending that main stem over. As long as you can keep it even with the rest of them. Trellis nets work out great. Yeah. It's just I don't like not being able to move the plants in and out. And you try to move them around with a trellis net, man, they're such a pain. So I've started not using trellis net, and as long as you're using a good silica product, you really don't have to worry about the trellis net as much like I used to. I used to use it for support on the branches, to where now branches actually hold up very well on their own. But,
good point. Good point. I actually touched on silica in one of my recent videos. So like tell the viewers like what's the benefits of silica.
Man, I swear it's the only product I can say that actually I noticed a sustainable difference in. Your stems are so much stronger. I was having a real problem with weaker stems before, and especially when they come late in the flower, everything's wanting to fall over, and I hated that. Whenever it was right towards the end, everything wanted to fall over, to where now these can go as long as you want, and they're just as hard as can be, just perfect. So that's the main difference I've noticed, and it's supposed to help with the uptake of nutrients, which it also seems to make the flowers look a lot bigger.
Nice. You got some secrets, dude.
Yes. The stem strength is the main difference that you could tell. I mean, I ran it side by side, and it's a night and day difference. And then start adding it to the plant that was having trouble, and it's a night and day difference on it. So,
Oh man, because like I noticed a lot of times I would be growing my plants coming down to the end of flower, they flop over like,
yes, big time.
and like I'm afraid the branches break. I find
Yes.
myself sticking up like a bunch of like sticks
Yes,
everywhere. Like
yes, I
it's so
hate having to do
inconvenient.
those.
Yeah,
Yes, I hate
dude.
having to do the bamboo stakes all over in there,
Yeah,
the
I
trellis
hate
and
it.
that, trying to fight it. Yeah, I got tired of that. And I was like, why am I having trouble with these being so just floppy? And that was the main difference. And
You
it's not
broke it
just a
down.
silica. Yeah, not just a silica. You need to use the monosilicic acid is what I
Okay.
use. It's monosilicium's one that I use, or I've also started using one from Dutch Pro that's a very good product. It's a silica product. But I'd been doing a lot of research on just silica products, and they say the normal silica products a lot of people sell take a long time for the plant to actually uptake.
True.
But that monosilicic acid or whatever it is, actually they take in immediately.
Okay, I see. I see. I've actually got Dutch Pro's website up here as well. Dutch Pro. Shout out to Dutch Pro because they do a lot of
Yes,
podcasts and stuff with those from the stash homies.
yes.
You know,
Used to,
Rob.
they don't anymore. They dropped them for some reason. But
Oh, I didn't even notice
yeah,
that, dude.
yeah,
But it seems that the silica, it's got monosilic acid, like you said, and that really does
yes,
promote thicker stems, increases resistance against climate changes, stress, and drought, and it provides resistance to bacterial and fungal diseases. So it's like an
yes.
all-in-one package, man.
Yes, definitely on the drought, I'd say it helps out big time because I've neglected my plants before where I didn't get time to water them that night, and the blue mats weren't quite keeping up with where they needed. And it's an amazing product. Yes, that's the one
This
right
is the one
there.
that you use here, right?
Yeah, that's one I started using. I used to use a monosilicium, but I've actually started using this one from Dutch Pro because the pricing is way better on this.
Okay, that's pretty interesting, dude, because I never realized that there was actually a benefit to having that monosilicic acid in there. So I've just
Yes,
learned
very
something,
big
man.
benefit.
Thank you so much.
Very big benefit. That's one thing I'd highly recommend using for sure. It's one product you see a difference in. Very few
Okay,
products I could say just you can tell a difference in, but that one is one for sure.
that's dope because I knew that silica like helps with those cell strength and building strong branches and stuff, but like I
Yes,
literally had no clue about this monosilic acid. So,
yes,
man, I've just learned something there.
yes. I do a lot of research. My prior job to this, I ran a front end loader, and I literally watch YouTube videos and listen to podcasts all day long for 10
Yeah,
hours a day in there. So I've done a lot of studying, a lot
I've got the
continuously,
right
even
man on the
today.
show.
Yes, continuous today, man. There's not an episode on any podcast, any YouTube, anything that I haven't watched or listened to. I mean, I listen to long studies that would bore most people. Everything interests me. I'm so interested in growing. That was what I was trying to get into before
Yeah.
I ended up taking off to Africa. My cousin had actually bought a building and we were going to do a commercial facility and it just didn't
Mm,
quite work out. And then I
yeah.
got this offer out of nowhere to go to Africa. It was a life-changing experience for me and my
Yeah.
family. So I
Sometimes
had to
life
take
happens
it.
in funny ways, man. Like,
Man, it
you know,
does. Yeah.
yeah,
They've even told us maybe one day they'd help me out with my dream of doing that here one day after all this is done. So you
dope.
never
That's
know.
actually pretty cool. Got to keep that close.
Yes, definitely. Definitely.
Now, you were mentioning that you do a lot of the silica feeding and stuff, and that's how we got into the size of the colas that you got, right? So, when
Yes,
it
sir.
comes to training and stuff, like, what sort of training do you do? Like, do you do LST? Do you? I know you said you don't really like to top. Do you do like super cropping? Is that something you're into? What sort of stuff do you do?
A lot of LST and super cropping.
Okay.
Definitely. I try to keep the canopy as even as I possibly can because that's focus on the top of the canopy is, where all your light penetration is going to
Yeah.
hit. So I try to keep everything as even as I can. On my last grow, I didn't get to do that. I failed to do it at the start. I was running too many plants at once because they were regular uh, beans anyway. And,
Yeah, literally.
trying to fight the males and females out, I didn't get to do all the training I wanted on some of them. So a lot of them just grew one main stalk,
Yeah.
with the smaller, lower flowers, which I don't really like doing it that way. But
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
I usually do a lot of LST and just keep them bent over mainly, just keep your
Yeah.
canopy
Gotta
even is the
keep
easiest way
gotta
to
keep
do it.
them them plants bent over. I was gonna say
Yeah,
something, but it may not be
yeah, right,
right for
right,
the
right. Yeah,
channel.
that's what I used to say. Yeah, I used to say things like that. Keep that main stem bent over is the main thing. I've took it and just bent it all the way down where everything else has to grow up past it, and then I'll untie it and let it catch up with them, and then bend it as I can. I mean, there's a lot of different ways. I just kind of look at the plant, see how it looks like it wants to do. That's one thing I've learned too, is just kind of every plant's different on how they want to do. Some of them do like to be
Sure.
top. Some of them you do top and they just spread out perfect. You know,
Yeah.
just the uniformity of the plant, they just spread out perfect being top.
Yeah, it's true.
So,
It's true. Like I think High again when I had him on, they were telling me that they had an autoflower that grew like 100 feet tall because
yes,
they didn't top it, and I was like, "Wow, that's crazy."
yeah. At least bend it over when they do that. At least bend the top over. I don't know. I mean, I've
Yeah,
only grew one plant out like that. They look neat growing them out like that. They just because I've never grew one out like that. But
yeah,
all your light's not being focused,
yeah.
like it
It's
should
not
be.
coming
That's the
out
main thing.
well.
Yeah,
Yeah, I did one of that just as an experiment, just because I wanted
that's
to grow a Christmas tree, dude.
that's how I did. I just wanted to grow one too. They look neat. I like the
Yeah,
way
they
it
look cool.
looks. Yeah, they look cool. That's the whole reason I did it. It looked cool. But as far as your penetration, I mean,
Yeah, it
you're
sucks.
only gonna your quality is not gonna be as good on the lowers, which I'll smoke the lowers too anyway, whatever.
Yeah.
But
Now, when it comes down to those lures, like I hate trimming lures, I hate trimming popcorn, but I hate trimming
yes,
off. And I noticed that we sort of do something a little bit similar. We do a lot of like defoliation. So, like, tell me
yes.
a little bit about your style of defoliation and like what do you strip, when do you strip it, and like just tell me about it.
I usually strip, of course, whenever I go right into flowering, I'll strip it down to just the very, very tops. And that's the only thing I'll leave is the very
Okay,
tops.
yeah,
And most of the leaves, they look pretty bare. I mean, it's pretty sad looking on the plants after you let them grow out all perfect and then you strip them down to where they're just bare. But it seems to get the best results that way.
yeah, dude. Like
So,
you're growing some
and
awesome plants. Like you
yeah,
gotta be
they
doing
fill
something.
out. They fill out quick, very, very quick. And then usually around probably week 4 is the next time I actually touch them, besides just breaking them off as they go, as they're blocking, a bud side area. That's
Yeah,
about all I really do, just keep them trained out like that, keep the leaves broke off, and then I'll strip them down again towards the end, probably week 6. They'll get another strip.
yeah.
For the most part, everything but the very, very top leaves is usually the only thing I leave.
Yeah, I got you. And like what that does is really probably focus a lot of the growth hormones up to those top branches that are getting
Yes.
light. So that's how come you end up with those beautiful flowers, right?
Yes, yes. I'll cut anything off that's not even, it may look decent, but I'll cut it off usually and won't go ahead and run it if it's not completely even. I don't really like it to be because you're not focusing all
Ruthless.
the energy. Yeah, and usually they fighting to be in the way, and I usually
Yeah,
run so
that's
many
true.
plants it doesn't matter. I mean, usually fighting and trying to find light for it. Depends on if I had a more evenly light spread, it might be different. But on the outside your plants are getting nearly as much light, but then sometimes those are the best plants too. So I don't know.
Yeah, just true. Now I noticed that you have like a lot of like beautiful purple nugs on your page. A lot of purple.
A lot of purple, and that's not even by
Like
choice. It just happens like that. A lot of them just turn
I was
purple.
gonna
I got
ask, like,
some
what
now.
causes that? Like, how come you get
Yeah.
so much purple and I don't? Like, I want some purple too. Send some over here,
Yeah. I
dude.
don't really change my temperatures that much. My night temps run about 61 at the
Okay.
lowest,
Yeah.
and I mean, I don't change a whole lot as far as the night temps. I just let it run how it goes. So, one product I use a lot is New Millennium Winter Frost. That actually helps the plants go into senescence.
Okay.
And that is an amazing product that will help them turn purple. It brings out any color, aroma, oils, anything in them that are deep down inside of them. That's
What
a
is that one
product
called again? Sorry, I didn't
it's
catch the
called,
first name. What Winter Frost?
it's New Millennium
Oh,
Nutrients, and
New
it's called,
Millennium.
yeah, it's
Man,
called
that's I
Winter
never heard of
Frost.
that one before. Man, you're teaching
Man,
me so many new stuff today, dude.
yes,
Thank you.
I will not grow without that product. There's not one plant I've finished off that doesn't have Winter Frost in it. Right there, amazing stuff.
So we got the Winter Frost. It seems
Yes,
that this one really does help to unlock true genetic potential with this ripening solution. It accentuates terpene production and helps you to recycle those the last remaining energy in the plant towards bulking fruit development. Man, that's why you got all the secrets, man. Some of this stuff
yes,
sounds freaking awesome.
man. That
So how
product right
often do you use
there is,
this? Like what?
you use it the second to the last week. Use it
Okay,
for a week. He says they recommend at least 3 feedings with it for it to really work good. But I use it for like 5 days. Is how many days I run it for. And then the
So,
last week, I usually just give it straight water after that, or I'll give it the New Millennium Ruby Fulvic, which is just a Fulvic. It's a good thing to flush with if you like to flush, but I
yeah.
just use it because it helps pull the nutrients out. I don't really consider it flushing. It pulls the nutrients out of the plants better.
Wow, man,
Those
I
two
never heard of
products right
those.
there alone, man, those 2 products right there alone are amazing. The
Yeah.
Winter Frost, they actually recommend using the Ruby Fulvic with it. Works better. Use 5 milliliters of the Ruby Fulvic and 10 milliliters of the Winter Frost. So
Okay, I
it's an
see. And
amazing product.
it actually says here that when it's used properly, the affected plant system uses its remaining energy to defend against frost and ensure swollen fruit pods are available for next year's sowing. Sounds like it's actually made for that. Exactly what
Yeah.
you just said.
Yeah, they say that you can finish a plant off early with it. Like if it's a 10-week strain, the guy Jaron, who actually salesman for him, he says he finishes everything off at 8 weeks. He just uses that and everything finishes off at 8 weeks and turns out perfect with it. So if it's a 10-week strain, he'll still run it 8 weeks and finish it off with it.
Awesome, man.
So it's pretty
Awesome. I got to
amazing.
try to get my hands on this. I mean, I don't know how low my temps drop just yet, but it seems like it may be something that may be great for me in wintertime because, like, I'm out in Colorado. So
Right?
maybe something to look into.
Man, it's definitely something to look into. I believe that's what helps my plants show the coloring they do for sure.
Proper. All right, man. That's pretty dope. As I said, you keep teaching me new stuff today, man. Thank you.
Right on, no problem.
I was actually looking through your IG as well, as I always do. And I was seeing that you use a few different folio sprays. For those who don't know, a folio spray is basically a little mix of nutrients that you spray in the leaves. The leaves sort of assimilate that nutrients through the leaves, basically. So, what sort of folio sprays do you use?
I've been making my own here recently.
Nice.
Using the teas and stuff is what I've actually switched to started using that. I was using that project by Danish, Optic Foliar. I was
Okay.
using it and I really did like that product. I really did like it, but I ran out of it and haven't been able to make it to the grocery store. And I've just started using the teas that I've been using and spraying with it, and it works really good. I use the insect press teas and I use it a lot. That's a really good tea to use for foliar.
So, what are the benefits of those like folio sprays that you've been using? What benefits do you see to your plants?
The insect press is very good for keeping bugs away. Very,
Nice
very good for
IPM
keeping bugs
routine, man.
away. Yes, very good. I was having a problem with gnats.
Yeah, dude, I've got a bad one right now. Ah,
Yeah, yeah, they're horrible, and it worked really good keeping those away. It did a very good job of that on the foliar. So the spray down, I
interesting.
use it on the top, sprinkle it in the media. It's a very good product. I love insect press. Very good product.
Awesome. A lot of growers who came on actually did speak about that, and a lot of growers use that in their IPM routine. So
Yes, it's
it's
very good.
like how do you just mix it into your teas and spray it onto the plant? Simple as that.
Yep, simple as that. I
Hey,
strain it out. I use a little strainer deal to make sure I get all the hard pieces out before I put it into the sprayer, but that's simple as that.
wow, that's pretty interesting, man. Because I'm literally looking for some alternatives to like anything that I can use to like just deal with those fungus gnats I got right now.
Yes, man, they're horrible. I was having trouble with them big time.
And they
That's the only
multiply
thing
so
I could get.
fast.
Yes, big time.
Oh,
Yeah,
jeez.
very fast.
No, actually, I didn't even realize that we passed so much time.
Yeah,
I got a few. This is, I guess, a new segment that I'm starting up. Like, I just want to ask you a few questions. You just give me your
right on.
answer,
Go for it.
and it'll sort of like give me an idea of who you are, give the viewers an idea of who you are as a grower. It's the first time I'm doing it, so everyone bear with me. I only got 4 or 5 questions so far,
Right
but
on.
as you go on, you'll just like make it a little bit cooler. So A or B, right? Simple as that. A or B.
Okay,
I'm gonna ask you A whether you like one thing or another thing, and you just tell me which one you prefer.
right on.
So synthetic or organics?
B.
Organic.
Organics. Yes.
Okay, I got you. DWC or soil?
Soil.
I got you. I got you. Autos or photos?
Oh,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
photos.
Why
Photos,
photos,
definitely.
dude? Why photos? I gotta ask you why.
Why? There's more more options available right now.
Yeah,
That's
more
what I'll
stuff that
say.
you can do.
Autos are a lot easier to me. Autos are so easy to me. They're very simple. You
Yeah,
don't have to worry about as much. To me, it's the easiest thing I've run. But I love the photos because there's so much more out there, and it's easier breeding with them. Not
yeah.
as much work. I don't feel like I haven't messed with autos a whole lot, but at the moment, the more photos is what I can say. More
I
options.
feel you. I feel you on that one. I definitely feel you on that one because like autos for me, like it's not really that easy, dude. Like I find like I always somehow mess up an auto.
Man, I've always
Overheating
killed it
or
on the
what-
autos.
I don't know.
Everyone, I don't know, I kill it on them. I quit growing autos because I was growing so many. I felt like I was going to forget how to grow and with not growing autos. So that's why I started getting back into the photos because I forgot a few things. So they were
Yeah,
just easy. They just worked out. I don't know why, but it just worked out very easy for me.
they're just a little bit more forgiving as well, right? You can just like
Yes, yes, definitely, definitely.
they can take a beating.
Yes.
All right, now last question I got here is bong or joint?
Oh, man, joint.
I'm with you on that one too, man.
Yes,
I love a
yes,
bong, but like I've been smoking so many J's lately. Like I've been ripping
yes.
those, but like I love the J.
I do too. I love a good bone rip every once in a while, though. That's a way to get that quick,
Yeah,
just laid back,
yeah,
feeling,
instant.
Yes, yes. I always like a good bone rip for sure,
uh,
but you can smoke the joints all day and just feel great. So,
yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Like actually recently when I went out to Canifest, got this little mini pipe. A
yeah.
lot of people use like those little pipes as well. Do you use those
I
pipes?
love, yes, I love the little glass pipes. That's my favorite thing to smoke out of because you get the better taste to me. It's
Yeah, I got
nothing
one like
else. No
right here.
paper.
Yeah,
Yes,
the
I got
small one.
one. My wife took it actually. So she said, if you're gonna be in there, you gotta leave me the pipe. So
Dude,
yeah,
that's crazy. That's crazy. But
actually,
I
never
mean,
mind. Got
you
one
got
right
one
there.
right there. I knew it. I knew it. I was
Yeah,
like, he's gonna grab
yeah,
one right now.
yeah, yeah. There's plenty of stuff everywhere.
Oh shit! Now, I saw that you had a post with a Frostberry Auto, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, but there was a Frostberry Auto, and there was like a bottom flower on that plant. Like the whole plant seemed to be in flower, but the bottom
Yep.
one seemed to be re-vegging. Like,
Yes. It was
what
a
happened there? How did that happen, dude?
I have no idea. I still don't know this day. It was a blue Forceberry Auto is what it was, and that thing it started re-vegging on its own down there, and I was like, no way! I didn't think an auto could even do that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it blew my mind, but yeah, it didn't last. So I was gonna try to grow it out, but it didn't last.
Yeah, I was gonna
So,
ask you like, what happened with it? Like,
yeah,
what did you
I
do?
wanted to, man. It didn't last. So I've had some amazing things happen. I have one right now that there was a seed fell in a wheelbarrow. I have just some old soil tossed in, and before I left to go to Africa, I'd seen a little plant growing in it. And I come back and this thing's like 2 foot tall out there, as bushy as can be,
Yeah,
and it's growing in a wheelbarrow with
yeah.
just a little bit of soil in there. And I'm like, wow,
They're resilient. They go
man,
there.
I'm telling you, they are very resilient. It's as long as you're not pouring nutrients on them, it's very hard to kill
Yeah,
one.
yeah. Or drowning them with water.
Yeah, so we're drowning them with water. Yes, I figured that out too. Drowning
I've
them
done
with
both of
water.
those things.
Man, I've done them both too. That's why DWC, I want to get into that too. That interests me. Talking
Yeah,
about
I'm like
DWC.
literally just tampering with it now, man. Like,
Yeah,
I actually tried like transplanting out of soil and putting it into a DWC bucket.
yeah,
It went well, so I'm just sort of monitoring things to see how that goes. But
yeah,
I want to start off one from seed all the way to harvest in water, just pure
yeah.
water.
I have friends that do it. My stepbrother does it, and I have friends that do it, and they kill it. I mean, it's beautiful,
And does it go
beautiful.
like a lot faster, like everyone says it does?
Yes. Oh man, my brother,
Mm.
it blew my mind the size of his plant. People were just amazed by this thing. He let it
Man,
veg for a month and a half, and this thing was crazy big, crazy big.
bro.
Yeah, yeah.
Man,
They kill it. They kill it for sure.
I haven't got the patience, man. So that's a big pull for me to get into this
Yes.
DWC.
Yes. I see the only problem I see is a lot of people start out that way. I see a lot of new growers start out that way, and I've heard it's a lot harder. And I'm like, it's to me, I would start with soil. That's your easiest way. Start
Yeah,
with some soil. Buy a bag of Fox Farm or something
yeah,
simple like that. I mean, there's a lot better soils out there, but there's many different brands of
yeah.
soil.
You can even
Just
make
get a
your own.
feel of the plant. Yeah, just get a feel of the plant. Watch it. Just get a feel of it before you go jump into that. Sometimes people try to do too much at once.
Yeah,
I see
it's
a lot
true.
of people first or second grow, and they've got everything you can imagine for it. And it's easier to start out more simple than it is anything. Get a good light, get your temperature and humidity set up. Your environment's the main thing. As long as your environment's good, a decent light, as long as you get good penetration on the plant, don't burn the plant, keep the light at the right distance, don't overwater, don't overfeed it, and grow a plant the first time and then continue on from there.
Yeah,
It's
true,
very
man.
simple in a lot of
And
ways. I
like
haven't found it very hard.
the soil gives you a lot of
A lot of buffer.
buffering. Yeah,
Yes, a
yeah.
lot of buffering. Yes, definitely.
So if
And
you
it
make
has
any
a,
mistakes, you're safe.
yeah, yes, definitely. There's a lot of advantages using soil, which to each their own. Some people like cocoa better. Cocoa is very easy. I like mixing the both, mixing cocoa with some soil. That's also another great option. That way you can feed a little more often that way.
Okay, so is it that cocoa is like an inert substance? It holds no nutrients whatsoever.
That's
Is that
right.
correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so
It'll
I guess
hold, yeah, it'll hold your calcium and it rob your plants of calcium. Sometimes that's some people's problems, the calcium,
I didn't even
sometimes
know
getting
that.
robbed of calcium. Yeah. They
Yeah,
say it
wow.
locks out on calcium sometimes, but as long as you use a decent cocoa that's buffered and everything, I've never had a problem with it.
Yeah,
Like I said, using that Fishner product, we didn't use any calcium or magnesium period on it, and it did great the whole time. Most
awesome.
beautiful plant I've ever had grow. So
Yeah, that's nice. I've never tried the cocoa, pure cocoa, like I said. So like I'm
I love it.
still
As
need
far
to
as it
learn.
being able to water, you can water constantly, and it's hard. It's very hard to overwater it that way.
Sweet. That's
So
pretty
if you like to
interesting.
pour a lot of water on it, it's very hard to overwater them that way.
Just run straight through.
Yes, yes, and then you want to be flushed. That's why it's easier too. That was my reason for going with it, is because of flushing. I was
Yeah,
like, it's so much easier to flush with cocoa. You know,
good
you can
point,
feed
dude.
whenever you want. Yeah, you can feed more whenever you want instead of just once. You know, in soil you can feed once, maybe every 3 or 4 days. Where in cocoa you can feed every day. I
Yeah.
like to feed every day.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that's really like something I never thought of, man. Like it just goes
Yep.
through so quickly. So if you do have problems with
Yes.
overwatering, maybe try cocoa.
Right. Definitely.
Wow, damn, I never thought of that.
Yep.
Now, we were speaking about some of those funky mutations on that auto that we vegged just down below, right? I've seen you also had like another funky mutation where one branch topped itself and like put out three flowers. Like,
Yes.
what was up
Yes.
with
That
that?
one was. I don't know. That one turned out amazing though. It was only one stem. Was the only one that did that, and it had 3 of them on there. It was the only one I've ever had do that. It's amazing. I've had a few of them that'll top themselves, but that was the only one I had that did it and actually kicked out 3 on it. I wish I could have kept that trait on something and tried to
Wow.
breed with that. That'd been very
Yeah,
nice. I've seen a lot of mutations with these. Definitely. I've had a lot.
freaking hell, man. Like, that's crazy. I've got one mutated plant. It was an autoflower. The whole thing grew mutated from seed all the way to harvest. I got a pretty small yield, but it was a beautiful colored plant. Beautiful.
Yes. They're definitely usually very beautiful. Very
Yeah.
beautiful.
I didn't get
I
a huge
follow
yield, but it's
Yeah,
beautiful.
I follow a few pages that are only grow out mutated plants like that, and it's actually neat just to see them grow out. I just love seeing every plant. I love
Yeah.
flowers. I love
Yeah.
to see them all.
I
So,
can see that, man. And I realize that you really do just love plants in general,
man, I
dude. Like,
do. I love them, and my second favorite passion is pictures of plants. So it's even better. Yeah, I love pictures of plants. I love it.
oh man,
I love to
there's
look at
awesome
everybody's
hobbies.
beautiful pictures. Yeah, no one gets more excited over pictures of plants. My wife gives
Uh,
me crap about it all the time, but I can constantly look at pictures of plants always. I
it's
just
just the
love it.
passion you have for them,
Man,
man.
it
It's the
is. It
passion.
is. Yeah,
That's
I was that little kid back when I was a kid. I was looking at the High Times magazine as a kid while when everybody else was looking at video games or something like that. I
yeah.
was over there in the High Times magazines,
Oh,
looking at
those
pictures.
nuts
Yeah,
are really beautiful. Those leaves,
yeah.
I like those.
Hmm.
But I also saw that you got like a nice outdoor rectangular garden bed as well, man. Like, what do you grow out there in that? Do you still do any growing outdoors, with, like other plants as well?
Yes, that's where I've been doing some breeding at. Actually, is outdoors. I picked up
Okay.
a Whaling Valley Landrace strain, and I decided to grow it
Ooh,
outdoors and see how it turned out. It got about 13 foot tall. It's pretty nice to watch one get that big. It's huge. And then I crossed it into a few other females that I had. I had a Nightmare Runts and then a Gelati and a few other things that I crossed it around with. Made my own beans
interesting.
with it. It turned out amazing too. I kept having problems with some of them herming out and stuff, but after I finally got some that didn't herm out, man, they turned out amazing,
Dope.
amazing, beautiful flowers,
Dope.
beautiful flowers.
Yeah. Now I saw
Had a
that you had
very,
like sorry man, but I
uh,
saw that you had like a out in your garden bed you had like a hole that you dug, right? And you
yes,
just placed like a whole fabric pot down in there.
yep, put the
Like,
fabric, yeah, they're still in there right now. The fabric pots are still in the ground right now. Yep,
what's
still in
that
the ground.
about?
The roots grow right out of them on out into the ground. I've got some radical bags, which are like a nylon bag. I've got some of those in the ground out there.
Oh,
But yeah, the
word.
roots will take off right on out of the ground past the fabric pots.
Yeah.
And I'll just plant right back in it every time. Works great. That way I can
That's
still water. I can still water in that area, and it's still getting the feeder roots will come up to the top right there, and they
yeah.
stay good where you can keep that area watered good and top dressed or whatever you want. It works out really great. So.
Like I saw that and I was like, dude, did he really just dig that hole
Yes,
and put the
straight dug
whole
a
plant
hole,
down in
dropped it
there?
in there. Yeah, straight dug a hole and dropped it down in there. I didn't know how it turned out, but man, it was great. It
I
worked
guess you
great.
can't see it, right?
Yeah, everything worked great like that. So,
Yeah, man. Like I did notice that the roots go through that fabric pot super easy. Like,
yes, I noticed that in my shower in here that they're always constantly growing through the bottom of it. So I was like,
yeah,
well, surely they'll grow through out there on the ground. Yeah, there's
for
no way to
sure.
pull that. Yeah, you can't pull that pot out there right now.
Yeah,
So,
can. Like I actually did something pretty similar, but it's a little different. So I used some toilet paper rolls, started off some
yeah,
poppy seeds in those,
I seen
and
that. Yeah, I
and then I
seen.
put that straight into the pot of soil, like straight in as that, because after as I water over time, like it'll break
Yeah,
down,
it's gonna
you
right. Yeah, that cardboard would
know?
be good for it too. I seen you did that. I like that. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, because like every time I try to start auto seeds in the pot and just put like half of a bottle or something over it,
Yeah,
sometimes I get good luck, but a lot of times I don't. I just like to
really.
start in a humidity dome, and
Yeah,
that works best for me. So I
yeah.
need to figure out some way to start the autos without stressing them, right? Like,
Yes, definitely. However works for you. Whatever you can figure out. Everybody's got a different way of doing it. Whatever works for you is all that matters. If you found a way that works for you, that's good. But
yeah, man. And I just thought that was a pretty neat idea, like just
that,
starting it
that
off
really
in this
is.
and then just dropping it into the pot of soil and just
Yep,
letting it run. I opened up the bottom a little bit so the tap root could just go through, but
yep,
it's perfect, man.
yep, yep. That's awesome.
Now I just wanted to ask you one last thing, dude. The I see that you got a lot of nugs properly dried and cured on your page. Like, tell me a little bit about that process. How do you achieve those awesome final results, man? Like,
That's how you really dial it in perfect. I have my
that's the
first
biggest
tent
stage
was
of it, man.
yes, the best. I have my old 2x2 tent. That's what I dry in, and I just got a little fan in it, exhaust fan in it, and I keep my bedroom very cool, so it stays
Okay.
perfect in there, about 62 to 63 degrees in the tent. And the humidity stays perfect in here too. Also stays right at 60 degrees on my
Ooh,
humidity
perfect,
in here.
man.
So
Oh,
it's just
damn.
perfect at all times in there. At all times, it's perfect.
You need to
So
package some of that air and sell it off to people,
yeah,
dude.
I before I left for Africa, I cut down one plant and hung it up to dry, and I got back, and that thing is still like you just cut it down. It's still so sticky and
Yeah,
fresh. It's like it's so perfect, and it's been in there
yeah.
hanging.
Nice,
Cut the
slow
whole plant
dry.
hang. Yes, it's perfect dry right now.
Ah,
It's been hang. I've left plants hanging up for 2 months inside the tin in there just because I didn't have enough time to get them in the jars and stuff. And as long as your temperature and humidity is right, they'll stay perfect in there. I
yeah.
mean, you can keep them very good like that. So
So about
that's
how
your
long would you like dry for, you'd say?
3 weeks is usually about the best for me.
Nice. I guess that's a nice little sweet spot. It gives the plant a time to really just get that moisture out of there.
Yep.
And
I'll usually hang dry the whole plant for say like a week and a half or so, and then I'll take it off and cut individual branches off and
okay,
hang them
that's
up
so
by
that's
themselves.
interesting.
Yeah, and then I'll hang them up for about another week to week and a half by themselves,
So
and
does
then they
that
go
like
into
just
the
slow
jar.
down the drying process a little bit for you?
Yeah,
Oh,
it
that's
slows it
interesting.
down and then speeds it up. To me, is
Yeah.
what it does. Hanging the whole plant slows it down a little bit, and then cutting individual branches off speeds it up a little bit. Yeah.
That's super interesting because, like, I never thought of it, but where I was before, it's super humid. So when I cut down the plants, I
Right.
cut off each branch and hang it up. But where I am now, it's super dry. It's the complete opposite. So
Yes,
maybe I should
Colorado is.
like cut off the whole plant. Like, what do you do? Just cut the
Yes,
whole
that would
plant,
be
hang it
the
up, and then cut the individual branches over time.
yes. Yes,
Yeah.
it would work out great. Cutting the whole plant keeps the humidity up and it lets it
My
slow dry
man.
a lot easier. Yeah.
Guys, he's a
So
genius.
we learn as we grow, man. We learn as we grow.
Yeah,
That's what I
man, he's a
say.
genius.
Yeah. That's
Oh
what I
man.
tag in every one of my IG deals, learning as I grow. So
Yeah, it's true though. It's true, and
yeah.
I'm still learning a lot as I grow. So thank you so
Yeah,
much for
every
these
day.
things.
That's what I love, learning something new. Every day I love to learn something new. Even if
Yeah,
it's something I already know, I love to learn more about it. So
yeah, and that's what we're all here to do. And like you definitely dropped tons of knowledge so far, like on this podcast, man. So thank you for that. Like we touched on a ton of different things from germination, seedlings, training, your sticky hella nugs, feeding, even like some outdoor grow talk and like that crazy technique where you dump the whole pot in the hole outside. Like
yeah.
dope.
It worked great, man. It worked great. I'm about to go start some more out there now since I'm home for a month. So fixing
Awesome,
to get all my
man.
outdoor stuff ready and do some more breeding. I got those Landrace Trains I'm gonna start while I'm home. So I got a whole bunch to do in a whole month. So
Man's got plans, yo.
yes, big plans. I got to harvest tonight. I got a bunch of plants to harvest tonight. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm gonna be looking
it'll
out
be
for
a
that,
long
guys.
night.
You gotta look out for his IG, lover of the sticky nugs. He's gonna be posting some fire as he always does, so check it out. But
Yes,
homie
sir.
Jake, for everyone that like wants to get in touch with you or see what you got going on, where can they find you, man?
My IG, lover the sticky nugs. I've got a YouTube. I started. I just haven't really got to mess with it a whole lot. I got sent to Africa out of nowhere not long after I really started messing with the YouTube deal. But I like
Would
to
you
start
be on
making
there
some
soon?
videos just to kind of record my grows. But lover the sticky nugs is the best way to get a hold of me.
Yeah. The lover of the sticky nugs has got to pop in on IG for sure, man. Like he's featured on Dude Grows Dank Nug Show all the time. It's
Yes, sir.
dank nugs on top of dank nugs. Like I would show you guys like what it is looking like right now, but I don't want it to get age restricted. So you
Yes,
definitely got to check it out because it is fire. He's growing a lot of fire out there, a lot of beautiful strains, a lot of beautiful buds. So definitely give him a follow on the IG, homies. And I'm gonna put a link down there for all of you guys. So Jake, thank you so much for coming on, man. It's really been a pleasure. You're an awesome grower with a lot of knowledge. Thanks for dropping a lot of knowledge, not just for myself, but for everyone else that's listening, dude.
yes,
Appreciate it.
sir. I appreciate you having me on, man. I've been a big fan of yours a long, long, long time. Long time.
Man, I
Since
appreciate that.
since way back. So I appreciate you having me on. It's an honor for sure, man. I was excited about it.
Man, very
Nervous
welcome,
but
man.
excited. Very nervous but excited. So
Man, crazy enough, I still get a lot of jitters every time I do this, dude. I don't
it's
even
hard
know.
not to, I'm sure. So
Yeah, man, it definitely is. But like, I'm down to have you back on another time, man. So we'll
man, that'd be
definitely stay
awesome.
in touch.
Definitely.
And
Definitely.
keep growing that fire, dude. Keep growing that perp, that fire, and those dank nugs. And I'm gonna be in touch with you.
All right, man. I appreciate it. Thank you.
100%. Stay high, dude.
All right.